What a glorious day. Didn't it cool off nice? Gosh, it's just, the weather's beautiful. And I saw something on the web this week where scientists took the Hubble telescope and they pointed it at nothing in the universe. It was out by the Big Dipper. If you had a grain of sand in your fingers, it would be about that size, just a small little point of nothing. And they left it on that spot for 11 days just to see what would happen. And they discovered 10,000 new galaxies that had never been discovered before. Each galaxy has 100 billion stars. And the light from these galaxies have been traveling for 13 billion years in order for the Hubble telescope to discover it. Out of nothing, there was 10,000 brand new galaxies never before thought of by human beings. Oh, isn't that incredible? And I wonder if we had the technology to look at one little speck within what they call it it's the outer limit something. But if you looked at a little space in that dimension for a period of time, what would that uncover? And how far out does it go? In all the potential, and then that leads to, are we, just this microscopic dot in the universe, are we the only living things in this universe? You know, the odds of that being so are like trillions to one, that there's other life forms someplace out there in this never-ending universe. It becomes mind-boggling. You know, we have no idea the dimension or the size or the magnitude of our existence. Now, what we do know in our universe is that the nature is one of harmony. 14 billion years ago, there was nothing, then there's a Big Bang, and when the Big Bang, there was this field, this expanse of subatomic bits, and those subatomic bits had to join together. They were of light energy. They joined together and they were able to harmonize. And that harmonization was attractive. And so other bits joined together and they continued to congregate until there was this metamorphosis into an atom. And then the atoms of light energy, now when I say light energy, I mean energy that is conducive to a sense of oneness, or conducive to a sense of harmony. And then the atoms did exactly the same thing. They joined together, they congregated, the energy built up and built up until they metamorphosized into a molecule. And then the molecules did the same thing and they became cells. And within the cells that congregated together, there was a blueprint for every living thing that exists, from the elm tree to each and every one of us. And it's all based on harmony. That's right. He says, yay. I agree. Thank you for the input there, little guy. So last week and the week before, we talked about we come into this world and we leave this world. And in between the beginning and the end, there's an expansive time that each of us has. We don't know how much, but it's our time. We call it our lifetime. So how are we going to spend that? If the nature of the universe is harmony, and if our most natural state as a human being is harmony, why would we ever want to spend our time, our valuable time, our precious gift of time outside of harmony? Which means outside the nature of the universe, resisting it or fighting or being in conflict with it, or for our own natural state. Why would we ever want to be outside that realm of harmony as an individual? Why would we want to spend our time that way? If we're not tuned into the nature of the universe, that means that we're against it. And that's pretty futile, to be against the nature of the universe. If our natural state is one of harmony and we're not in harmony, we're actually in disagreement with ourselves and the very essence of our being. Now, as we continue to evolve, we learn more and more and more about ourselves. And research at Brigham Young University recently did a very expansive survey. They did 148 surveys in 50 different countries, people of all ages, all races, all economic levels. 300 people, or 300,000 people, excuse me, were in this survey, and they conclusively came up with three important things. First of all, we're social beings. As human beings, we're social. We need each other. The second thing they discovered is that the lack of harmonious relationships in our lives is detrimental to our mental, emotional, and physical health. The third thing they discovered that the presence of negative, conflictive, disharmonious relationships in our life is detrimental to our mental, emotional, and physical health. And it's detrimental to the same degree that smoking is, or that lack of exercise is, or that obesity is. It's that important. Our relationships are everything. If you stop and think about yourself, there's nothing you can say about yourself that doesn't include a relationship of some sort. Everything is relationships. 85% of our happiness comes from relationships with other people. 85% of our angst or anger or irritability comes from our relationships with other people. So our goal on the spiritual path is to simply be in harmony with all that is and develop harmonious relationships for the most successful, fulfilling, and healthy life. Doesn't that sound grand? Knowing that, we can all leave here today hand in hand and step on down the road singing yippity-doo-dah. You know, we discovered the secret of life. But we also know that it doesn't work that way, does it? And that there are bumps in the road. We experience disharmony. We experience conflict in relationships. We experience other people that we don't embrace, but that we are repulsed by. Big difference, attracted to or repulsed by. And so our harmony is displaced. We step outside of our nature, and we step outside of the nature of the universe. So what do we do about that? Change and like everybody and accept everybody exactly the way they are? Even those that tromp all over the landscape of our life? We say, oh, I love you anyway. That's okay. Well, we're a very, very diverse group, we human beings are. We think differently. We act differently. We feel differently. We have different preferences. And there's nothing wrong with that. We have diversity within the human population, but we also have a commonality. We are all one. That energy, that spirit that was present at the Big Bang that created the subatomic bits of material that went on for the atoms and the molecules and the cells. And that's exactly the same process that brought you into being. And even though we're dressed differently in our physical bodies, you know, we go beneath it all and we go to the essence, the life force, the energy within us, it's exactly the same. And that energy is one of harmony. At the same time, we're different. So we're called on to recognize our differences, yet at the same time, honor and hold sacred our commonality. That we're all in this together. We are all of the same life force. We are all engaged in the same life dynamic, which is the DNA system. We're all in this together. Yet at the same time, we have preferences. We have likes and dislikes. We have attractions and we have repulsions. So how do we deal with the repulsive, the dislike part of our world?